One Piece. That One Piece. That One Piece. Hey, 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 hey. Hit him with the shoulder. Hit him with the shoulder. Hit him with the shoulder. All right. What up, everybody? This is That One Piece Talk, where we talk One Piece. And we are in episode 21. We will be doing things a little bit differently from the way we usually do our chapter reviews. So we found out we waste a lot of time doing the actual chapter, and you most likely read it. And when I rewatch the videos and make like little clips to make, you know, more whatever, I find myself skipping the whole manga like review anyway, because we don't really talk too crazy or talk too much. So we're just gonna have, instead of a review, we're gonna have like a chapter 1030 discussion.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
from the jump, we talking about it. So before you start listening to us and enjoying our vibes, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to Yo Boys. But anyway, how's everybody? Oh, my name is Larry.
Lawrence.
And this is That One Piece.
You didn't say talk.
One Piece Talk. I always forget.
That One Piece.
Order like, Ayo.
Yeah, we're not stealing your show.
Hey, man. Hey, man. Watch your mouth. Watch
Put some respect
where your
on
mom's at.
it.
Where your mom's at. All right. Anyway, how's you guys doing?
I'm good, man. My legs hurts.
Yeah?
But I'm all right. I'll be all right.
That's what's up. It's the perks of being a little heavier than others.
Hey, man. I'm cuddly.
You are cuddly. What about you, Lawrence?
I'm all right. Just a little tired, you know. But I did a lot today.
I thought you were potent today.
I did. I was running around. I've been running around all day today. I was going grocery shopping for the fam.
Just
Lawrence
slanging
is
it.
lying. He strips on the weekends.
He
so
slangs.
I don't.
he hits that pole pretty hard,
don't.
and he has to get recovery.
Left cheek, right cheek. Time,
Bust it open.
said time to see some booty meat. Oh my god.
Nah.
All right. Anyway. Yo, Ace Made is so funny, man. He was like, "What is that? A blue gorilla?" All right. So.
See that Jinbei meme I sent you?
Yeah. The all blue.
Did Larry see it?
I don't know. Did I send it to you?
I don't know. Maybe not.
I'll send it to you later.
All right, cool. All right, let's jump into the discussion. So from the get, we read the chapter. We'll give our ratings after, because I still want to do ratings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like ratings have to be in, because you just have to know what it is. Let's start with the Apoo and Drake alliance from the get, right? I think we all agree that Apoo is not to be trusted. So I won't even ask if he is. What I will ask you both is, do you believe this alliance will be the start of all the supernovas on the island allying together to take down Kaido if Luffy can't beat him this time?
Ooh, I didn't even think of that. I have no idea what this alliance is gonna like represent overall. I'm pretty sure that they will agree to work together in some light, but I think overall, like, Drake had that Luffy is someone to like rely on moment earlier in the arc when he was flashing back to Kobe, where he was like about to get beat down by like Queen and who's who in them, like, for betraying them. So I think he's gonna do something to like still lean back on Luffy. And then what you're saying is Luffy losing and them jumping in and fighting Kaido. I would like that.
Yeah.
Especially if like all the supernovas were able to do it, but like for all of them to do it now, it's kind of late in the game. Like Kid and Law are already fighting Big Mom now. Like for them to beat Big Mom or whatever and then have to fight Kaido after, like, it's like I don't know if I see that.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's what they're doing. I don't know. I really don't.
Yeah. What about you, Lauren?
Same with Sebastian. Like, to beat Big Mom, and then if they do, because there's no even guarantee that they're going to do so, you know?
Yeah.
Like, then beat Big Mom, then join together with other, and who's even left? Like, pretty much, like, so that's doing that. Supernova, that's Luffy. So you're not counting Luffy because you're saying that he loses. Does that count Zoro? Does that count Hawkins? Because Zoro's gonna be fighting King. We don't know his condition of that. Also, the damage he got earlier, that's when that gonna go into effect. And then Hawkins, he might be down for the count right now. So the Supernovas are left. What is Apoo, Drake, and is that it? Like, who's left to take, if that happens, who's left to do that?
Yeah, like
Out
in
of
last
Supernovas.
chapter had Kid and Law talking about like these are last resort techniques they're gonna start using towards Big Mom. So it's like, what will any of them have left in the tank for any sort of Kaido smoke?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Yeah.
The reason I asked is because when I looked at it, I said to myself, why does this matter? Like, what will this portray into the future? Like, what will we feel, or like, how will this affect anything during this arc? Because we already know they did one alliance. They didn't work out. Now they're doing another one. But why is Oda showing it this late in the game? For what reason? Like, why do we need that? And then, I don't know. I just felt like maybe the Supernovas are probably going to ally together. Like, I can't picture Law and Kid beating Big Mom.
Right.
I can't. Like, I just can't see it. But, like Sebastian said before, right? Like, Luffy has to lose again in order for it to be justifiable for him to take down Kaido. Like, he needs that extra oomph. You know what I'm saying? Like, it needs to be just him and Kaido at the end of the day fighting.
Right.
Because that's where Luffy performs at his best. So, if Luffy loses again, who's going to distract Kaido this time? Yamato's going to be busy, doing the bombs. Everybody's going to be busy. And most of them are hurt. So, who comes into play at that point? So,
Yeah, I can see that. It's just a matter of, if it's the alliance part is where I'm not agreeing with you, right?
Yeah.
But I can see Drake and Apoo and these three numbers going after Kaido.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They haven't been. I mean, Apoo. Shout out to Apoo, by the way, because
He's a
this
real
dude has
pirate.
been taken out like 4 times in this arc, and he's still good. He's sitting in his chair chilling, bro.
Yeah, he chilling in his
I
chair.
was like, yo, did Zoro not cut him? Did he not get eaten up by Drake? Did he not get slammed by a Kid? Like, he's just good. Like, it didn't happen.
No.
He's chilling. So, and he's not as on. Like, he's just stronger than that. Like, he just took all that damage.
Yeah.
But I can see these 5 people in this little panel here going after Kaido and stalling him for X amount of time while Luffy recovers or something. And it could be more dramatic than that, but I don't know if they link with the other supernovas. That's the only thing I don't see. I can see them going after Kaido for sure, but I can't see them linking with the other supernovas per se.
Okay. All right.
But I mean,
But the
everybody
thing is,
last legs could be cool.
what would be Drake's reason? Because he's alone.
Well, he has to keep his cover.
Well, his cover's blown.
Yeah,
at this
that's what I'm
point,
saying.
Well,
so
there's
they
only
are.
one person that knows it at this point.
I mean, the whole Beast Pirates seem to know it. Like, the whole hierarchy of them seem to know.
Did they? I forgot.
Queen know.
I wonder why
Who's who
why
knows?
these numbers
Hawkins
is like,
knows.
yeah, this is line up with Apoo.
I mean,
Well, so-
do you have that on the listing?
Yeah. I do.
Okay.
I do.
You gotta blow Laura's mind, bro.
All right. Anyway, yeah. So I wanted to know what you guys thought about that because that came to my mind.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like Oda's gonna show us something and then we're gonna be like, oh, this is just whatever. You know, it's gonna have some importance later on. So my next question is, during the moment of seeing the 3 numbers, their names are Haki. NB, Fuga, and Zaki. There's a rumor going around that these 3 numbers are actually the 3 samurai that were in the cave with Yamato when she was a child. So that means Shimosuke Ushimaru is the number named Fuga. What are your thoughts on this? Now, for those who are listening, if you want to go back, you can see chapter 1024 is the chapter that we see these 3 samurai in. And one of the samurai, I believe it's Enbi, who looks exactly like the number. I mean, the samurai that looks exactly like Enbi, the number. You could show him.
Yeah,
right
I'll
here.
put it up to show Lawrence.
Yeah, I was gonna
But,
say you could show it to him.
dude.
It's pretty convincing. It could also explain why they're allied with Apoo, because why would any of these numbers be able to ally with like somebody like Apoo for no reason when they're meant specifically to be disasters on the Kaido pirates? So, Sebastian, since you're looking and you can show him later,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts regarding this?
Dude, I absolutely love this theory because for so many reasons. One, it gives the numbers a higher level of reverence that they didn't have before. Like all the numbers are just kind of getting taken out in one shots. These would be the 3, and they've been saved, apparently, for the ending of Wano, for like this last big Onigashima anyway, this last section where it's gonna start getting real ramping up. So like, I love it because one, it makes Kaido really like even more sinister for him to capture people and straight up torture them and force them to experimentation to become numbers and stuff like this. They're like mindless like beasts. That's these guys right here, like this guy and this guy and this guy. So if you look at it, they're like in the same So
go to chapter 1030, the latest one.
Yeah, the latest one.
And see them.
So there's that. Plus, these guys have that added motivation where they're gonna have real beef with Kaido because they're not just numbers. They're not just experimented people. They're people that have ties to Wano and have been affected by Kaido's reign. They're not just giant beasts, and they can be really strong. You know what I mean? Like, because these guys were strong enough that Kaido wanted them on his squad. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't just kill them. He was like, all right, these are leaders and stuff. Like, he wanted them to bend the knee. And then beyond that, that doesn't. Oh, yeah.
I keep hearing that echo too, but I don't think it's here.
I don't necessarily believe that it's
Yeah, it's not here, Marv.
Yeah, I can hear it. It's probably out there.
Nah, because we can hear it through our headphones.
I can hear it through each. Yeah, I can.
Nah, nobody has it.
Yeah, my phone's muted.
Yeah, phones are muted.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, so like
Marv was telling us he's sexy. We told him we know.
So like there's this added like drama that comes with this. And for the most part, I was like, yo, what the hell are the numbers for? They haven't done anything. This would be them being something deeper for the story.
Yeah.
And I like that. I mean, who knows if it's true? That doesn't necessarily mean that person is Ushimaru, per se. It could be someone else. It could be his cousin. It could be his brother. It could be whoever. But it could be Ushimaru, and that could be Zoro's dad, which would be hilarious, too. But whatever. Boris, what you think? Because this is your first time hearing that. Me and Larry have discussed it already a little bit.
That came out of nowhere for me, in all honesty. I was like, what?
So what do you think?
I don't know how to respond to that, in all honesty.
You see it. You know you see it.
I only honestly made this one the most.
What do you mean, not this guy?
Not really.
Dude.
Not really.
Dude. Look, they twins.
Yo, it's done. Yeah. Nah, there's no video open. Is it gonna come up in a video?
Sorry, we're hearing an echo. I was just gonna battle through it, but
Yeah, I was gonna battle through it too. I was like, yo, it's enough to hear Sebastian's voice once. We have technical difficulties.
You gotta put the thing on the please stand by.
Yeah, it's definitely not us though, Marv, for sure.
Yeah, I'll have it up.
I'm looking at Sebastian's phone, my phone, his phone. Lawrence doesn't even know how to work YouTube on his phone.
I even moved my phone away from it to see if that would help.
I'm not hearing it now.
Yeah, we're not hearing it now.
Hearing it now.
All right,
cool.
Bet.
So do you believe it? Because I like want it to be true so bad.
I think they look too similar in order for it not to be that. Mm-hmm. But I agree with Sebastian. Like, it does make the numbers seem more valuable than they were because they were kind of hyped up to be like this force of nature that Kaido had in his back pocket that he could just be like, yo, I don't need my calamities. I just got my numbers to handle y'all. And like, they're considerably just giants at this point. So giants are a big deal within One Piece, and they're meant to be very similar to them, but more animalistic. So if we were to take their vibe and put it into Kaido's group, you're going to think they're more violent giants. And they haven't been that. They've actually just been kind of like plush toys where they're just getting taken out or they're just not involved. Like, I think we've only seen like one or two every so often, and they really have no effect. So they're getting pushed to the side, very much so. But this would be a perfect way of being like, no, these are actually people that Kaido has sent to Caesar or sent to some, or had, given to Queen, and Queen altered them and made them these monsters where they don't have any significant thought. But this would be the first time we see that their animalistic nature is given thought.
Yeah. Now, I will say this. It's pushback for this theory. Big Mom did say earlier in this arc that he must have bought the numbers from Punk Hazard. So, like, I don't know if that's a blanket statement for all the numbers or if he was, like, giving Caesar people to experiment on and got these people. Or if it's a mixture of the two. But, like, I just like the theory. It could be very wrong. You know what I mean? We could be stretching super hard here. But it was stated in the manga that, like, he bought the numbers from somewhere. So.
Also, too, when Odin was fighting Kaido, didn't we see numbers in the background? It could be different numbers. Like, you could have different numbers. But didn't we see some numbers in the background?
If they were there, they were silhouetted. It wasn't anything
exactly. Because I think King and Queen.
But yeah,
I
do remember numbers being there.
Yeah.
So
I forgot.
Yeah, I do remember there being numbers back there.
I mean, it would be interesting because like putting a more darkness on Kaido that he's actually. I mean, his dad wasn't a lot of things with the experimenting because Punk Hazard and Caesar are kind of linked to Big Mom and Kaido in a certain way. The smile fruits. So the giants, the numbers being experiments from like the giants to kids we saw isn't too far fetched. I don't know if it's going to be them, the samurais, but
why did he show them samurais? If not, I'm just saying.
It's just that we have numbers that are allying with Apoo.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, there has to be a reason for that, and they look pretty conscious. They have like a conscience.
They seem more conscious than the other numbers we saw, which would indicate strength. And again, the fact that they were saved for now indicates that they're one of the stronger ones. I don't know what these numbers stand for, like if they're 1, 2, and 3, because I don't remember which numbers have been used and taken out yet. But I don't know. I just like that theory, that line of thought. I do. I like it a lot.
It's interesting.
So
all right. So let's move on. So the next part of the chapter, basically, because there was like 4 parts to this chapter. The next part is going to be Kinemon and seeing him again, his request, and basically Kanjuro's dying attack. So this was a big chunk of the chapter. It was probably like a good 33% to 40% of the chapter. So I just want to know, how do you guys feel about Kinemon, Kiku, and Kanjiro still being alive?
I'm gonna let you go first, bro.
Yeah, Lawrence goes first because you went twice.
Well, it looks like Kinemon's on his last, dying bed, his last breath. I don't know if he's pretty much he's bleeding out because he can't even move his upper torso. Most of the upper torso took the damage. Anyway, so his legs, by apparently not being fully attached by law, is why they're able to run free. Because right now it looks like Kinemon can't do anything. I kind of thought he died already with that blunt attack. I mean, One Piece taking abilities do exist, but I'm not saying I'm upset about him being dead, but it's just
upset about him being alive.
Yeah, about him being alive. It's just I'm trying to think, where does it go from here? What is he gonna survive this now, or what's his part in it now?
Yeah.
What's he gonna do? Is Luffy gonna see him die because Sebastian wanted that to help? Sebastian wants everyone dead. I know, honestly.
Not everyone.
You say everybody dead.
Not everyone. Everyone whose death could complete a character arc. That's who I want to die.
But yeah, he be saying Kinemon, Law, everyone. But anyway, yeah, Kiku. I don't even remember what happened. So Kiku, in all honesty, I'm trying to think.
She got stabbed by Kanjuro because she couldn't cut him. Remember?
Oh,
and then Kinemon cut Kanjuro like right after.
When I first saw her, I think, wait, hold on, is that Momonosuke's sister? And I was like, when did this happen? Because remember when she came down and helped him? I was thinking,
that'd have been wild.
I was like, oh shoot, she got murked. But then I was like, no, that's Kiku. And I'm like, who's that again? Like pretty much what happened to him? And Kanjuro, did we see Kinemon take him out?
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah, that was the same chapter that Kaido bashed his head in.
Right. So it was.
It was like what I thought was gonna be the cliffhanger of the chapter, and then it was like, nah, Kaido just bum rushed in there and took Kinemon out.
So were they just lying there in silence, dying?
Yeah,
alive as hell.
Oh shoot, this is it.
I got an itch.
Yo, Kinemon was like, yo, Kanjuro. He was like, yeah. Yo, fuck you, man.
That's why I got
Kanjiro
you
just
good.
like,
He's like, that's why I got you good. You know what I'm saying? If Kyle didn't roll up, I would have been out.
oh man.
What you think, Seb?
I mean, we all knew they wasn't dead. I don't know why Lawrence thought that.
That head
Nobody
bashing,
dies in
bro.
One Piece, bro. I've been saying that for how many years now.
I mean, we can name.
So
some
I'm
things.
not super disappointed. I'm disappointed in the effort Oda took to try to make you think they were dead.
Yeah.
If you're just not gonna kill them, you know what I mean? It's like that, like
But he does do that a lot, though.
yeah. But Kiku had like a whole like poem with the snow and all. I'm like, all right, yo, like okay, like die. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't give your last words. Don't do that. If you're just gonna live, I'm not super disappointed because I like Kiku as a character.
He lost his arm, though, really.
She did. He did. She did.
He's dead.
She did.
He's dead.
Kinemon, I was disappointed. Like, I knew he wasn't dead, right? And at first, I was disappointed in how he lived.
Yeah.
But then I was like, yo, that's funny. It's creative and it's a callback. Because I completely forgot that happened to him.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when I saw his legs running around, I was like, oh, I started laughing so hard. And I was like, I just wasn't expecting to see that. You know what I mean? Like, it was a funny thing. And, you know, I like One Piece because it's funny. Mm-hmm. Hamlet is also hilarious. He was in this chapter. Shout out to Hamlet. He's like top 3, like, smile fruit users, bro.
It's
love that
funny
dude.
because he's wearing zebra pants, even though
He's a
he's
giraffe.
not. I said zebra.
Are
I
they
meant
not
to say
giraffe
giraffe. I meant to say
fans?
giraffe. I don't know why I said zebra. Zebra pants.
My other problem with them living, like, if they're gonna be alive, like, where Kiku's state is cool. The fact that she's like barely conscious and like not talking. Kanjuro was having full blown like, what up? Nah, I'm good. I can talk. What's up? Like conversation with Orochi. I mean, he didn't, but like he did. And then he draws the giant thing, which added tension. Like we have like mad. You know how in One Piece arcs there's always like there's like one really big thing that's happening that has to happen or be prevented from happening. We have like 5 of those things.
Yeah.
And it's just adding to that, right? Mm-hmm. But like, you do that to add tension, but not killing people takes away tension. So it's like a double-edged sword. Yeah.
My opinion, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I only hate it because of the fact that because they're not dead, Kaido has not killed one person in Wano so far.
That's
during a war.
That's true.
Not one. Like, if you're gonna give me tension, there needs to be tension. Like, it needs to be so much that, like, I can cut it, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, and it's not there. Like, Kaido at this point has just been taking L after L after L, even though he's been winning. It's just, he just hasn't been able to do much. Mm-hmm. And, like, for us to be introduced to Kiku still being alive is ridiculous. Because, like Sebastian said, he had this whole build-up where he was like, yo, this is my life. I have to give it to the story. Mm-hmm. And then Oda's just like, no, I'm not doing it. We saw Kinemon like get struck with something that we assumed was probably armament, Rio or whatever filled, where there was black lightning around his mace of Kaido. Bashed his head in. And the only reason he probably survived was because of Law's innate ability to like...
No.
Like,
he lived from that originally. We saw him after that, and then he stabbed Kaido in the leg when he was trying to go after Momo. And then Kaido stabbed him in the stomach, which split him, I guess, open.
Yeah, I mean...
Kaido didn't realize that, by the way. Like,
and then Kanjiro still being alive is just... I get why that is, but I'll ask the next question to see what you guys think. But overall, I just feel like, man... This is what I be talking about, yo. Like, this is what I be talking about. Like, people be saying, like, yo, Kaido... Like, this is the same argument that Katakuri had, right? Where you were like, yo, he doesn't have enough pop. You remember you be saying that?
Yeah.
Like, Katakuri don't have enough pop. Like, he's doing this much to this one character, and they're suffering this much damage, but at the end of the day, they're not losing because he just don't hit hard enough. Now we go into, like, Kaido, where Kaido is leagues above in strength above Kinemon and Kiku. Yet, they're just tanking attacks from him. That's what I'm talking about. Is that I get it. Like, the story takes place first, and then everything else after that is second. But this is where it becomes a conflict, where he sets us up with these grand gestures of strength, grand gestures of like, this is how important this moment is, and we're gonna have to accept whatever comes with this moment. So when you're like, okay, I know how strong this guy is, he bashes somebody's head in to the point where like they're supposed to die and they have no relevance in the story after this, but they're still alive. Now I have to think, yo, Kaido don't hit hard enough. I can't accept that. Like, I can't accept Kaido or Yonko doesn't hit hard enough against somebody like Kinemon and Kiku. Just doesn't work for me. So this chapter was really terrible because of that.
Dude, you gotta stop letting the people not dying in One Piece affect your chapters, bro.
Listen, man.
You gotta expect that they live.
Don't.
Like, you knew that he was gonna live.
This is the thing. Don't lead me on.
I can accept that.
Don't lead me on to think that this is your intention when it's really not. You're just setting up a dramatic moment. And that doesn't necessarily support what you're trying to do. It actually hinders you. It makes the story worse off. Because I'm pretty sure I know the community has been like sort of in an uproar about this. Like, it's been the most conflicting chapter so far in Wano because of them being alive. Like, Kinemon, I could say could be alive because, like Sebastian said, he has some relevance to Momonosuke's like afterwards. Like, he has a role to play.
It's funny, I actually need him to die for that reason.
Or he could, but it's like Kiku has no role. He's good. He can stay dead. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Kiku,
murder him. So I'm thinking like any moment right now, Pedro might show up.
Yo, legit.
I'm thinking, yo,
I have since the beginning.
I'm seriously thinking that Pedro's gonna show up.
Dude.
I'm that convinced that he didn't die, yo.
Yo.
Well, then again,
and the Sulong and the moon came out. He probably Sulong.
Was it Prespro?
Prespro.
Prespro survived.
Listen,
Prospero shielded himself. I'm just saying, nobody dies in One Piece, man. I don't know why y'all be bad.
It's so stupid.
I will say that I wouldn't say though that they tanked it though. They more like survived it.
You can't be in Kiku state and say you tanked something. You can't be in Kinemon state and say you tanked something.
Yeah, take that.
Like, Zoro didn't tank, nothing happened, bro. He almost died.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Kaido just don't hit hard enough, I guess.
No, it could. I don't think that's it.
Let's go to the second question. Let's go to the second question. All right. Law's ability continues to be abnormal. By that, I mean he just doesn't put people back together correctly, as seen with Kinemon, right? So his bottom half reappearing. What words can you say if you tried to speak with your butt? Because Kinemon was having full conversation with his butt.
That's not the first time he's done that.
Yeah.
So he's got some practice with it. Oh.
I don't know how. That's weird.
So y'all can't spep from your butt?
Nah.
I've never tried.
Never.
I'm about to start trying.
I'd probably say yo.
I'm trying to think of like a full word I could say that would be like intellectual, but nah. Just
all right.
butt talk.
That was an immature question. Third question. Besides Kinemon telling Usopp and Nami to save Kiku, what do you think was the other request that was off-paneled?
Was there a second request?
Yeah. What?
So, I thought that he was just breaking down the situation.
Nah,
and then he didn't want to write all that and just had Usopp hear it.
Maybe I read it wrong, but it looked like he said something to Usopp, and then Nami's gonna go do something else, and Usopp's gonna go save Kiku or something like that. Like, I thought there was two requests, but one was just hidden.
That's very possible. I thought when I read it, I didn't get that. I got like he was just breaking down the situation, and Oda didn't want to write him explaining all that, I guess, through farts or whatever, because it's like. There's already a lot going on in this chapter. So he does that sometimes where he'll like skip that part of it where like I'm just letting you know, I'm filling you in on what's happened.
Yeah.
And then now action has to be taken. So he does that every now and then. That's what I thought happened. The way it's structured, you could very well be right because he's like, please hear me out. You know what I mean? Because he already says, then I must assume you must be a comrade. No, because he never says anything about Kiku and the situation here. If he had said that first, and then was like, please hear me out, then maybe. But the way, and plus, I can't envision Kinemon having any sort of actionable game plan right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's just trying to save Kiku.
Maybe kill Kanjuro.
Confirm
Confirm that kill.
Confirm that?
Double tap.
So, One Piece, you gotta like.
Do you agree with Sebastian?
quadruple
Do you think that something was off paneled?
I didn't think that it was off paneled. I never thought of it like that. It was. But I feel like hasn't Oda done that one a few times?
He's done that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Usopp's face does adhere to that, where it's like, and then they split up. So it's like, it could very well be something else. We guess we just won't know until it comes to fruition.
It could be Orochi.
Oh yeah,
Fine
it
Orochi.
could very well be Orochi. But the thing is, this thing is framed to have happened before the Orochi call happened, and I think Kinemon's like, "Yo, Orochi is still alive," in his head, right, or something like that. Yeah, I hear the voice of the head of Orochi, but you know what I mean.
You're right.
So, I mean, again, it could just be that these two things have happened at different times, but like the way it's framed and the way the sequence goes, I don't think it was something that we didn't, you know.
All right.
What did you think it was?
I don't know.
Oh,
I thought, to be honest, I thought it sounded like a long stretch, and it's like a 10% chance, but it probably has something to do with Hiyori.
It's possible too if he saw her, or if that's who he saw.
Because I'm pretty sure they weren't all unconscious when she was in the room, which we suspect that silhouette was her.
Yeah.
Because she's been completely out of the story.
I assume Denjiro's with her. That's my assumption. Because he's the only scabbard we have not seen.
Yeah, I'm about to say, where he at?
That's like his, I don't say daughter, but that's his, like, the girl he's taking care of for this whole time.
Yeah.
So, like, he's out of the picture. She's nowhere to be found. I assume he went to go attend to her.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I just figured, like, I was just like, man, like, am I reading this wrong or am I reading it right? But, yeah. So, do you think King will be able to manipulate Kanjiro's Kanzenbo and use it to his advantage against Zoro or any of that?
When I saw that giant thing, I was like, where's Jinbei at? He'll shut that down real quick. Because isn't it paper?
It's water.
No,
it's fire. But
it's fire.
No,
but
it's through ink. It's like ink fire. Because he drew it.
But it's also transparent.
Okay.
So it can go through walls and stuff, right? So I was thinking to myself, I'm like, well, there's so much fire all around. Why wouldn't King be able to use Kazenbo or the fire in the castle to keep fighting everybody? Like, is he able to do that? Like, I don't know.
He's a fire conjurer. As for whether he can manipulate existing flames, I don't know that we've gotten
that much
credence to
information.
But I would why not?
Honestly, I've always wondered that about like ability users, like fire or snow or ice. Can they manipulate something that's not from them? Because
Crocodile was doing it, no? When he was doing that's why he chose Alabasta, right? Because he would be surrounded by offensive capability. Yeah. His whole, you know what I mean? That was
it's probably easier for him to.
I know he would create.
He was creating the quicksand and the.
But he wouldn't make that. Wouldn't he make that in his hand and then send it and it would get bigger with the sand, like he'll combine it? The quicksand, he manipulated.
Either way, he's still using something that's outside of him to enhance his attacks, which is what Larry's trying to see if King can do. I think he could. I would love for him to do that because you know me, I'm all about Zoro struggling. You know what I mean? I love that. Because if he threw this at him,
but he knows how to cut fire though.
With hockey in it, with whatever this is, like this isn't just fire; it's something else. Yeah. I mean, he could cut it.
I mean, hockey, you could kind of. I feel like you could touch just about or affect anything because the intangible.
Yeah. It's so crazy that so much is going on right now that I'm just like, man, like we got this Kanzenbo from Kanjiro. We have like all the people fighting all over the place. Big Mom. It's just so much. All right, so let's get to the juicy part of the chapter, I guess you could say. The Law Kid versus Big Mom.
We see the CP9, CP0 on the
We
move.
did, but like I didn't want to ask any questions about it because they're not doing anything.
Yeah, they're just
walking. And for all we know, they could probably just be walking within their corridors. You know, like Onigashima's big enough for that to happen.
The way they showed it, I thought since you see Robin and Brooke, then you see them. To me, in my mind, they're heading towards them, or they're close.
Seemed like it to me.
Oh, I didn't even peep that.
Yeah, the way it was framed, it seemed that way. I just love that all this disaster level stuff is happening, and they just chilling, walking, hands in pockets.
Yeah, like,
They're like, you know, whatever.
Like nothing's affecting them. Even the background is just like nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
So, Law, Kid versus Big Mom. So, my first question for you guys. The awakenings that we've seen thus far, from Paramecia's to Logia's, have been very different from what we've seen Kid and Law have shown, right? So, what do you think about this?
Well, I'll let you go first on that.
me?
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand Law's awakening.
Nobody seems to get it.
Because I know he says usually says room. He says something different this time.
He says Kroom.
Yeah, it says Kroom, right? And then he says how he says anesthesia, and he says how the penetration does nothing on its own. Instead, it creates shockwaves. So pretty much, so it looks like I guess it has a now he's able to chop your head. He does something different. I don't know if that's the only thing he could do because I think awakenings usually have a variety of, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out because I know he makes room. So I guess with the awakening is that ball there is what it is. It's not. So whatever he made there, the room, that's similar to what he makes normally, except a different element of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I guess he's able to do what he had in mind to do with it because even now I don't fully understand Law's ability. I just know he could almost do anything inside his room.
Yeah.
So anything kind of like his own, he can manipulate matter or whatever. I don't know like what he really does. And I guess the awakening is a different part of it because he creates shockwaves. So
this is the first time we've seen. I messed up the question, but it's the first time we've seen awakenings that don't affect the environment.
Yeah.
yeah,
So my question is like, what do you think about that?
that it could be because they're still in like their beginning stages. Like we've seen awakenings that like affect the environment. They're more like kind of like masters of their awakening. Like they weren't small scale. Doflamingo's wasn't small scale. He's been a seasoned veteran for who knows how long.
Yeah, there was no backlash to using it for
exactly.
Katakuri and Doflamingo.
And then the Admirals, they're experienced fighters. Like they're part of the top, not the exact top, but they're like So it's like these are like the higher scale awakenings we've seen in Dogtooth. He did awakening, right?
Yeah.
Like another season. These are like rookies in a way. You trying to get in the custom because like for example, how would the Kroom look if he did it bigger? Like how he's able to do normally, make the giant. What if he's able to do as awakening that big? We would see it would probably affect everything around it. That's my guess.
Pretty good guess.
Yeah.
What about you, Seb?
I didn't think that. Well, one, as far as them having different awakenings than everyone else, I like that because it allows Oda to be more creative with what awakenings can do. Because if everyone was able to do the same awakening, it's like, okay, now everything turns to rubber behind Luffy. Like that was the consensus, what it's probably going to be. This opens up the avenue for it to be something else. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I like that because Oda's creative as hell. He can do anything. Like he can think of anything and make it a thing. Mm-hmm. So I like that. I like that aspect of it. Regarding Law and Kid specifically, the way I look at Laws, it's like he's supposed to be a doctor, right? And his devil fruit's supposed to be the operation fruit and everything, right? So when I see him using his ability in this way, maybe it's supposed to be showing the advancement of a doctor doing a more like precise surgery. Mm-hmm. That was like the idea I got because he's like Kroom and it's a smaller ball when normally Law uses a larger room to do anything. So like maybe I'm a precision surgeon now kind of thing. With Kid's awakening, being able to magnetize other people, not like things and not just himself, other people, there's levels to that can be really, really, really good. He hasn't shown any of that yet, though. So we got to see how far they go with these things that they're doing. But that was my take on those things. I thought it was cool, though. I liked them getting their awakenings. I said that last episode. Try to tell y'all.
I was kind of surprised by the that they're awakening their awakenings.
I wasn't surprised because Law and Kid are very devil fruit reliant in the way that they fight. Like Luffy, the way he fights he's devil fruit reliant, but a lot of it is how he's utilizing hockey with his devil fruit. Like here's it's all hockey / devil fruit. Law and Kid has been 90% Devil Fruit utilization, 10% hockey, or less even in Kid's day. Wait, at least from what we've seen from them. So like, I can envision. I see them getting their awakenings before Luffy. So like them awakening now makes sense. And I don't know if they've had their Devil Fruits longer. I don't think Law's had his longer than Luffy has. But he was immediately like probably better with it than Luffy was when Luffy was a kid. So like, I like them getting it. I just got to see what they do with it. They got this off on Big Mom. That was cool.
It's because he's smarter than Luffy. Yeah. He would try to utilize it differently. Because also, like you said, Law even said that Luffy overuses his hockey. Yeah. And me and Lionel kind of have a thing. We kind of feel like hockey, overusing it, may have side effects on you. Granted, one translation that it's not there anymore, because the reason why we also base it off is when Rayleigh said, when in his old age when he used Conquerors, he said, and I don't plan on doing that again. Mm-hmm. But later on, Lionel looked for it, and I think in the manga, it wasn't there. So we're trying to figure out, does hockey take a toll on your body, which would make sense why Law said you're overusing it, and how Luffy gasses out, and how he's relying on his ability. Because your ability's not really going to affect you. Law it does because the counter, it drains your stamina, and Blackbird, the double damage. But normally when you use your ability, you have unlimited. Like it doesn't really affect you. Or hockey showing that it could possibly have side effects.
I used to think that. I don't know if I can say that anymore. Because Kid said the same thing that Law said. In regards to, I only use it as a last resort. It drains me too much. I always thought that Devil Fruit utilization thing was a specific Law problem because otherwise his Devil Fruit would be way too hogs. Yeah. But Kid said the same thing. So, and yes, magnetic stuff like that could probably be two hogs too. But like, I didn't think that as far as using your Devil Fruit in any way was a limit to anyone but Law until this chapter where Kid said it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I don't know either. I think, the environment changing, I think Law could be right. Like where you have to practice, maybe you can get to that level, which is probably the ultimate level. So to see if Law can do that with the ground and necessarily not even have room on, it's just rooms everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know how much difference that will be compared to like what he has right now for his ability. For Kid, I am kind of disappointed because I like the fact that he can magnetize somebody and it can attract metal and it could bombard you, sort of like Shinra Tensei from Naruto when Pain trapped the fox.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The artificial moon. That's cool. But in the scale of One Piece, and you're dealing with somebody like Big Mom, another Yonko, his ability it shouldn't do anything to her, realistically speaking. Like, she shouldn't be able to, like, have a hard time getting out of that either. Like, I get it, like, she's going to be stuck with, like, metal all around her, but I don't see it actually damaging her. I think of it actually, like, preventing her from moving and keep her in place and making her heavier than she actually is, so she has to use more force to get out of it. So I don't really see anything going on with that. I think Kid is just... Oh man, he continues to disappoint.
I feel like a lot of it is because
it's disappointing.
One of your favorite characters in Marvel was Magneto, and you want that from Kid.
You know what it is? I just think that Oda's not utilizing his ability to what he can actually do. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, Kid should be able to just push off the ground because there's iron in the ground. He should be able to fly.
He's done that too.
I don't remember him doing it.
Yeah, he did it. Was it on the rooftop or was it before that? No, I'm thinking of the anime. When he, he did it in the manga, too. When they were fighting on the ship. He, pulled himself up into the air and then was flying. And then they did the three of them did the attack on the ship.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember that. But, again, he should be able to use, force fields in a way, like magnetism fields. Yeah. He should be able to do that. So, he won't take so much damage. So I could see him actually utilizing it. You know how Doffy used hockey against Rhinoceros when Luffy kicked him? I think he should be able to do that with magnetism. So if he isn't so great at hockey, he can use that instead, and he could take little damage. So he'll be sort of like Bartolomeo, but with just magnetism.
Yeah.
Give it time, y'all.
Anyway,
give it time.
I expected his awakening too to have something of the sorts of he's able to control Big Mom. She eats a lot of food, so she's gonna have iron in her blood too. So I would have liked to seen some type of like blood bending from Kid because of his nature being so violent.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was killing Marines. That's the reason why he had the highest bounty in Supernovas.
Mm-hmm.
So for me to see Kid, like I wouldn't accept him doing it on Big Mom because she has supreme hockey. But if I was to see him controlling her and like her arms are up in the air and like he's actually holding her up and then like using Law to like stab her, that would have been crazy. But
I mean, it's been 2 panels, bro. We don't know what they're gonna do.
what I saw was he did his awakening and that was the first thing he did. He was like, yo, instead of like defeating her, I have to stop her from moving, basically. Like, it's not smart of him to do. Like, you're not doing anything to Big Mom. You're not gonna tire her out.
Yeah. This one could have been more like, because they're in look like Kid was in a dire situation. Big Mom's like was gunning
Yeah,
for
she
him.
like swung.
Yeah.
She hit him with the sovereignty joint.
Yeah.
No.
And
Hold on one second.
rocked him.
So somebody said Stanislav Stanchev. He said, by the way, how do you guys feel about the new numbers? Inba, Fuga, and Zanki. I like the way Inbi looks. Plus, they look more conscious than the rest, especially Inbi. We talked about earlier in the episode how they are the 3 samurai from chapter 1024, probably, because they look exactly alike. But check that
Also
chapter out.
Framed in the same like panel.
Yeah, they're framed in the same exact positions. But
Yeah.
check that out. Yeah, man. Next one. Me and Sebastian were arguing about this. Literally, we were probably speaking for like an hour that day, and like 45 minutes of it was just us convincing each other like of what was happening. Is Gamma Knife Law's awakening? And I'm gonna start with Lawrence.
Oh, you know how I feel.
I don't think so. I think it looked different from when he did Awakening here.
No, it's definitely different looking.
Yeah. Because I mean, I didn't go to it. I can't see it, but like, I wonder if the Kroom thing is special. Because did he even say Kroom for the Gamma Knife?
No.
He just I don't know. I'm trying to remember what he did with the Gamma Knife to why you would think it was similar. Because he looked like it was more like a
The reason why I thought it was similar
State your case, dog.
was because they both do the same thing. Now, meaning the same thing means they don't necessarily attack from the outside. It attacks you from the inside.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The difference is one is covered on a sword and one was without a sword. So like he generated this cutting, utensil in his hand and then cut Doflamingo from the inside, which destroyed his organs.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He did it with Big Mom, but he did it with Kroom and used his sword and stabbed her through, which did the same effect, which it hurts you from the inside, not the outside. Now, the reason why I think Gamma Knife, because I do think Gamma Knife is his awakening, we went from Dressrosa to Wano, and I'm supposed to believe that Kid and Law just Law specifically just learned how to do awakening. I don't think so. I think that he knew awakening and he used it, but he only used it with Gamma Knife. Because you can't tell me the difference between the two.
I already told you the
There's
difference
no
between
difference.
the two. One, Larry, there's several differences. One, he had to use his left hand to create the Kroom and then cover the sword. And honestly, I didn't even notice the first time. He didn't ever did he teleport himself into Big Mom? Like directly? Yeah, he did. All right. So he stabs through her, right, with it. And then it says it creates a shockwave. Gamma Knife was used. He just created it in his hand and stabbed through Doflamingo. There was no secondary technique or secondary action he had to use to do it. And then he did another attack after it. And he did it again versus Kaido. Like the circumstances that Law said he has to use his awakening in, last legs, life or death, last resort kind of situation. Yes, they were there in the Doflamingo fight, but when he was referencing any sort of fatigue or energy being depleted, he was not referencing the move Gamma Knife. He was referencing the size of the invisible room that he had created so that they couldn't see it. Like all that stuff is saying now, like this isn't like an extra attack. Like this isn't awakening in regards to how he's using it in the last resort and stuff. And two, like he did it against Kaido, and he was in none. Like he didn't. There was no drawbacks. There was no nothing. Like he described the conditions that he's probably going to be in after using awakening, and he was not in those conditions when he used it the 2 times that he did it, in my opinion.
And I'll also add to that is also too remember Law's state of with his fatigue. For a while, like when he fought Doflamingo on the bridge, right, and when he was getting like tossed by Doflamingo, Law was so exhausted from the fight with Doflamingo and Fujitora that he was struggling just to make his room. So if Awakening takes that much stamina from him, he wouldn't be able to use it in that state. So the whole times we see him later on, he was getting beat up by Doflamingo, getting tossed around. He was conserving as much as he could to do certain attacks. So it's like he was on his last stand to do that, but not enough energy or stamina to whip out an Awakening because he drained it all fighting Fujitora and Doflamingo.
And he could have very well have awakened it through the fight with Doflamingo. That was the highest leverage situation he had been in to that point, most likely. And then we've had, 2, 3, 4 weeks for him since that moment till now? He could have awakened it off panel that way. Know what I mean? Afterward. Kid, we ain't seen nothing even, know what I mean?
Gamma Knife is awakening, bro.
It's not awakening. It's not. It's very clear. They
It's
framed it as such that it's very clearly not awakening.
No, it does the same thing.
No, it doesn't.
It does the same thing,
No, it
bro.
doesn't, bro.
It literally does,
my
bro.
gosh.
Well, hold on. Also, too, because like you said, like he made a room, but the Gamma Knife wasn't a room. It was just some lightning.
He was in a room already with Gamma Knife, and then whipped it out. And then he did Counter Shock after that. Like he was not in any sort of extreme fatigue situation, dog. He was just losing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was just like, yo, bro, I have one arm. I don't even think he can do his awakening with one arm.
Didn't he do Counter Shock against Virgo that one time with the thing?
Yeah.
That whole,
yeah.
like
Well, he
that?
did Counter Shock after.
Listen, Counter Shock is different.
Yeah.
Like, Counter Shock
No,
is
it's not that.
different.
Yo, Counter Shock is closer to like moveset how you use it than Crew
Nah,
is, dog.
definitely
It's
not.
And also too,
Bow
and also
versus
too,
Bow.
his the awakening thing is not so far different from what he normally does because remember the Apoo, he's able to take out people's hearts. So Law is able to kind of affect all areas of the body, like he's able to switch brains, hearts, or whatever, you know. So it's like with that in mind, incision. So basically, what I saw with Gamma Knife is because it attacked Doflamingo's organs, right? So that's why it was different because this created shockwaves. Gamma Knife went directly to attack organs in Doflamingo.
Yeah.
So
Well, it cut anything that was in the way of the knife.
yeah.
Well, he specifically targeted his organs because he
Yeah,
said
because
you
he knew
can't
it would
do
be
anything
hard.
about your
Yeah,
organs.
yeah.
He didn't know he was gonna be able to do anything. But it's not awakening, bro.
Yeah, I don't
It's
think
awakening.
it is.
It's
I
not.
don't think
It's
it is.
very
Until
clearly
I'm proven
that.
wrong.
You're the only person that said that.
Until I'm proven
Just because
wrong.
they're similar. That's what I try to tell them. This is like saying Gear 3 and Gear 4 are the same because the dude's pumping stuff into his. Like, it's not the same.
Yeah, because one is blowing
not the
air,
same, bro.
blowing air to his bones, and one is blowing into his muscles.
It's not the same thing, bro.
But it's still a gear.
Yo, that's not. And this is still a technique.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That Law uses.
Yeah,
with the
and his
open
awakening.
Nah.
It's an awakening.
It's not an
technique.
awakening.
I think this is the first time they're introducing awakening from them, like because I feel like Oda would have said so earlier.
Right? Like, why would he be like, yo, he used an awakening attack so nonchalantly
Like, yeah.
versus Kaido earlier in this arc?
Listen,
Come on, man.
another nonchalantly moveset that was just introduced randomly was Snake Man, and I am 100%
not
convinced
nonchalant.
that
Oh my
Snake
God.
Man was able to be used during Cracker.
Yeah,
and he
it was.
didn't.
Yeah, it was.
And he didn't use
But
it.
it wasn't nonchalantly used.
Because we were introduced to gears already.
Listen, man.
Gear 4 already. I mean.
Thank you.
Yeah. So it's like we just another form of
Y'all not
Gear
right.
4.
Whatever, man.
Yeah, and
next
y'all not
next
right,
question,
bro.
bro. You wrong.
I'm not, yo. I don't think I am. Y'all haven't convinced me. There's nothing that
We can go
is
to panel
different.
to panel.
Bro, they're different.
Yeah.
Nah,
No,
bro,
dude,
they're not different.
narrative structure alone. You would not have somebody say this thing does this thing to me, and then 20 chapters earlier have him just use it casually.
Yeah.
Like, that's not
cool,
how
bro.
that works, bro.
It's cool, bro. It's
Yo,
not different.
so I have a theory. I don't know if we have time for this or not.
Yeah,
but I have
we
a
do.
theory. The bombs that are in the basement, right? I think Kid's gonna use them to magnetize them to Big Mom and blow her up with them.
That would be.
And Law will probably use Kroom or whatever to teleport some inside her body. Because we know that she's like iron balloon.
I would accept that if that happened.
Yeah, what is she like? Is she that strong internally? You know what I mean?
I mean, how many kids have she had?
Yo, there's a second level of my theory that's a little darker.
All right, go.
And I don't know. I'm sure it won't happen, but wouldn't it be wild if because they what? Damn.
What she say? What did he say? If she was pregnant.
She pregnant.
Yo, oh
my baby.
I got real dark.
Yo, it didn't get that. I thought I wasn't getting that dark. But basically, you know how this is like a catastrophe level explosion? Mm-hmm. So they have to like move it away from the island. What if Kid moves her away from the island and like they blow her up and she blows into pieces and lands on the Big Mama Chanter and all her kids just see her like body parts just land on the ship.
That's not the same level of darkness of the baby?
She's not pregnant in my scenario.
her offspring see their mother's severed head on their ship.
Limbs. Yeah.
Like,
so we know this is not happening.
Yo, but wouldn't it be fire if it did?
I don't think Oda's gonna go that route.
Listen, Oda gets dark sometimes. He doesn't get that dark typically. But
I mean, backstories you do currently.
This is somebody's backstory in the future. Somebody is living through
Kiku's.
this. Who's young? No, it can't be Momo.
Momonosuke.
Momo's backstory already
He's
dark.
gonna think back.
It's Carrot's backstory. I was on. Oh my gosh, man. When the Straw Hats lost. You know what I mean?
I can't.
I don't know.
I would accept that. Like if they transported bombs into her body, I'd be like, all right, bet. I can see them beating her.
You could see her losing with that?
Yeah, for sure.
Question though, I'm thinking since we're introduced to Awakening, remember we talked about like the whole Gear 5 and everything?
I just can't see Kid beating her, but go ahead.
Are we gonna? So now Oda introduced Awakening. We thought this was all just willpower arc. Awakening was introduced.
Luffy not.
Is Luffy going to whip out Awakening against Kaido?
At this point,
he kind of needs it though.
Nah, I don't think Luffy was Awakening. I think they did this with Law and Kid specifically because everybody can't get the same upgrades, right? Like we're already seeing Sanji get a different kind of upgrade. You know what I mean? Power up. Law and Kid can't have like, okay, wow, we just unlocked Rio, we just unlocked Conqueror's Hockey Advance. Like you can't all do the same thing.
I would have accepted that instead of Kid's lame ass attack.
Oh my god, dude! It's one pen. Like, I think
it's just buying time because I don't think this shouldn't take big.
No, it's not. She's gonna push this off. I don't know if she can, but the fact that Kid can now move a Yonko at his will—that's not impressive to you.
Yo,
come
he
on.
Needs to stop her like that. Take her sword away and then stab her with her own sword because that thing is huge.
All right, so he's
not gonna be able to penetrate her skin, bro. Listen, it's gonna come down to the bombs because honestly,
the penetrate she wants.
Honestly, I don't know what the bombs are for if not to do that. I'm gonna be real with you, because like we already had Oniyashima landing, like it was already like everybody's gonna die. Like he added the bombs, and I'm like, yo, what are these bombs for? Like they're just gonna do the same thing. This is what they're for.
Yo, imagine they get Kaido and Big Mom like right at the edge of death. And they're like, yo, we never thought this would happen.
And they awaken.
And then, like, they go, yo, we got to take them out. But, like, we're going to die anyway. And then Big Mom and Kaido's like, all right. And then they just start making out.
I thought he was going to say they whip out their awakenings then.
And it's just like, let's beat these kids to the ground.
One for the road. No, I'm kidding.
Man. Yeah, man. There needs to be more intimacy going on with Big Mom.
What? And Kaido?
I'm all the way good on that. All the way good. I mean, we could really get dark. Lawrence's Big Mom pregnancy thing could be dope. You know what I mean? Especially if they kill her.
And it's
Love made her bleed.
He did. Kid didn't.
He's just a kid.
Yeah, kid did not.
I feel like Oda's gonna be like, yo, they beat her because like she got her period out of nowhere.
Yeah, okay.
That would be sexist.
So she's not pregnant.
I would be like, yo, Oda's sexist if that happened, bro.
I can't. Man, look at he jumped to her, Sebastian. He didn't teleport. Look at he jumped. Just the small panel right here.
Some Law?
Yeah.
Yeah. He got in there.
Assassin's Creed style.
Got in there deep.
Nah, it's deep.
Assassin's Creed style.
Anyway, we gotta go.
Or
Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for joining us on episode 21. It's been pretty lit. Thanks to Law and Seb for always being those guys. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, comment your thoughts below, and we'll definitely be here for episode 22. So if you agree with me, like always, shout out.